Okay. Now, two metal rock albums. Which were honestly,
Dos.
I hate to say it from now, two of the worst albums you've sent to me. You've gotten me like into that metal rock, like I'm going into, I'm learning on my own, going to dive into it. Now listen to these albums, I'm like, I'm honestly upset. Like,
Okay, okay. Well, like the thing I sent these two because these were like two of the.
I'm not saying that you told me these are gonna be great, but I'm just saying that I was just like, I was disappointed specifically because I like some of the old Architects work from the other things we've listened to, and I've never listened to A Day to Remember in my life. But well, I want to finish on a more positive note, so we'll get A Day to Remember out of the way. Let's go. Yeah, A Day to Remember. But the
Yes,
album was You're Welcome. I liked zero tracks off this album.
I only like the first song. Yeah, I thought even that it's not even my favorite Day to Remember song. I thought it was pretty good, and then it just nosedived. It nosedived. It was
Okay.
just terrible, like simple, but it was like butt rock. It was just radio rock, just bland lyrics.
It's like
Just
you computer
oh,
generated an album and told them to just make rock. Just do it.
for sure, yeah. And I had very low expectations. They changed their label to Fueled by Ramen. If you're familiar with Fueled by Ramen, they have a Panic at the Disco,
Okay.
Paramore, 21 Pilots.
Familiar with these people.
Yeah, they also had Fall Out Boy for a little bit, and Jimmy Eat World and a bunch of other people. 303. So like that was a big one because they for the longest time they were with Victory Records, Epitaph, well known rock, alternative rock, metal labels. So this was a huge shift
I think it was a little
in their
bit
sound.
like the label tried to tell them what to do a little bit because that's what I feel like a lot of times what happens when artists they put out this muffled nonsense. It's where the
I
label's kind of like this is guaranteed to sell me records.
I
Like where
guess
it's like
so,
it's not
but
too ambitious, but it's just enough where it's like I know what this is gonna sell.
I guess so, but like
Like tell me a little bit about their past. Like how about other music they put out? Is it any good? Who are they? I don't
oh
know anything about A Day to Remember.
oh I think they're great. These guys are one of the big reasons as to why I dove deeper to these guys were perfect when it come to transitioning into the metal that I used to like, what I still like, but dove me deep into the Architects, the Triviums of the world, a bunch of other guys. And can you hear anyone? Can you hear anything?
You're
Okay.
chilling.
Yeah. Just of course everyone in the family's downstairs as well. So it's like
All
perfect.
good. We got the same thing over here.
I know. I know. But yeah, these guys I think these guys are great. I recommend honestly like for their 2007 no 2009 album from Homesick, like in like that three album stretch are great. They're so good. Like metalcore with a little bit like the easy core influence. Yeah, they're fantastic. They're really great. And yeah, and I think you will like some of their other stuff too. Kind of it transitioned. It's a great way to it transitions people to a little bit of a more abrasive sound, and that's what happened to me in like sophomore year, junior year of high school. But yeah, but their last album before this was kind of like okay, it wasn't terrible, and then there's this album, and
I
it's
feel the
like,
same way. I had the
ugh.
similar like awakening in hip hop where it's like, oh, you always listen to the general, hip hop songs. And then there's always that one artist that takes you down the rabbit hole. And then you have no clue where the hell you are now. That artist, the specific me was for X. So you get a little bit like it introduced you to darker themes. And then before you know it, you're listening to some crazy ass branch of hip hop. Be like, wow, how'd I get here? But I enjoy this.
Yeah,
It's like that gateway artist.
for sure. But like these guys aren't like the gateway artists of like how compared to X is. It's just like, oh my god, like this is, I don't expect that, but
This is not
more
hip
like,
hop. This is just like
yeah, but it definitely was like because it blended the clean vocals with more of a screams and the breakdowns and the riffs and all that.
it's like just enough screaming where it's like you're not uncomfortable, but it's like, oh, this is new to me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, these guys are great. Their older stuff is great. It's just this album is just not good. It's
I,
flat out not good.
I like honestly had to make myself finish it.
That's I remember when they came out with the song with Marshmello a couple years ago, and I'm like, why?
Though those are
Why?
these guys.
Yes.
I remember that. I didn't know this. That's who this was.
Yeah, these are these and I'm just like, why? Like
I
I
mean, who?
understand
Why? Like I there. You know why?
well, obviously I get why, but it's like why?
Yeah, that's
Like
fair.
like sometimes here with like these artists, like they want to change sound. And like I get it, you can do that, but it's also like you got to be careful when it comes to like you're a day to remember. People are here for, I understand you can evolve your sound, but it's got to be good. It just doesn't seem organic. It just seemed like a clear cash grab, not a clear cash grab, but it felt it's it's like
Like
you just
the
knew
label
what
pushed it out.
direction labels. And I think it was like they wanted to do something that they wanted to get more airtime on the
Okay.
radio and more streams, and it just didn't work. And the singles heading into this weren't that great. So I was just not excited to begin with, but it's more like I'm going to listen to it because it's a day to remember. And yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. I don't know about like what other people thought about this. I'm never gonna open this album up again. That's how I put it. And I gave
Yeah, for
this a
sure.
good 4 out of 10.
3 out of 10. Get out of my face.